All right, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into a book that might just turn everything you thought you knew about fate upside down.
Oh, yeah. This one's a doozy.
We're talking about Liu Tuhen.
Centuries old, right?
It is centuries old,
Yeah.
but don't let that fool you.
that fool you.
This isn't some dusty old relic gathering dust on a shelf.
No.
It is packed with wisdom that is surprisingly relevant to navigating the complexities of, well, modern life.
It is, and shaping your future.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to know about that?
Exactly.
Shaping the future you want.
I think that's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
How do we shape our future?
Absolutely.
And this book really kind of flips the script on the idea of destiny as something fixed and predetermined.
It does.
And it argues that our future isn't set in stone.
No.
It's constantly being shaped by our thoughts, our actions, and the good we put out into the world.
Absolutely. It's a very active process.
Okay, so instead of being a passive passenger on this journey of life, we actually have a say in where we end up.
We do. We're not just along for the ride.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued already.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It is.
It's empowering.
Yes, and you said it doesn't stop there. It goes deeper.
It does, yeah.
It offers us like a framework.
A framework, a structure.
For understanding how our thoughts and actions influence our destiny.
Yes.
And it even gives us practical tools.
Yes, very specific.
For taking control of the process.
Love that.
Okay, now you've really got my attention.
Okay, good.
So before we jump into the nitty-gritty of how to actually shape our destiny, let's back up a bit.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the book itself?
Sure.
Who wrote it?
A Ming Dynasty scholar, Liao.
Okay.
And he was, skeptical too about the idea of a malleable fate.
Right.
Like, can we really change it?
Yeah.
And in fact, his own life initially seemed to confirm the predictions of a fortune teller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he met him as a young man.
Oh, wow.
The fortune teller basically laid out his entire life.
Wow.
Exam results, year of his death, all of it.
And so he was basically resigned to living out this preordained fate.
Yeah, I mean, for a while, it really did seem like he was living out a predetermined script.
Huh. How fascinating.
Yeah, and then everything changed.
Okay.
It was a pivotal encounter
with
a wise Zen master named Yun Yung. And this meeting totally shifted Liu Fam's worldview.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Yun Yung introduced him to the concept of self-cultivation, refining one's character as a means to change one's destiny.
So it wasn't enough to just change your actions?
No, it was deeper than that.
Okay.
It was about changing your character, your inner self.
Oh, so this sparked like a huge transformation in Liu Fam.
Profound transformation.
Okay, and it led him to dedicate his life to testing this theory.
Exactly, putting it into practice.
And proving it right.
Ultimately, yeah.
So Liu Tuhen is essentially a record of his journey.
It is.
Of self-transformation and his exploration of how to shape one's destiny.
Precisely.
That's so cool.
And you know what's even better?
What?
He doesn't just tell his story, he shares the wisdom.
Well, fantastic.
He outlines specific practices for cultivating virtue, refining one's character, ultimately shaping a more positive and fulfilling destiny.
Okay, so this is more than just like a philosophical treatise on fate.
Oh, much more.
It sounds like there's real practical advice woven throughout.
Absolutely, packed with it.
I'm so eager to dive into the specifics.
Yeah, me too.
Where do we even begin?
Well, there's this one practice that Liu Fam outlines. It's called
Gonggoge,
which translates to merit and demerit record.
Okay, a merit and demerit record.
It's basically a daily practice of self-reflection where you track your actions, noting both your good deeds and your transgressions.
So like a spiritual spreadsheet for your actions.
That's a great way to put it.
You're making me want to grab a notebook and start tracking.
You should.
But what's the point of this meticulous record keeping?
Right.
How does it actually help you shape your destiny?
It all comes down to self-awareness.
Okay.
By consciously observing your actions and their consequences, both positive and negative, you start to see patterns in your behavior.
Oh, okay.
And that awareness is empowering.
Yeah.
It allows you to make different choices, to break free from negative habits, and to consciously cultivate more virtuous qualities.
It sounds like it could be a powerful tool for breaking out of autopilot.
It is.
And taking control of your life.
Absolutely.
I like it.
And, the book is filled with examples of how this practice led to real transformations. Not just in Liu Fam's own life, but in the lives of others.
Okay.
He even inspired his wife to participate.
Oh, wow.
She used a calendar to track her good deeds with red circles.
Oh, I love that. That's a great visual.
Isn't it?
You can just picture her marking each day with those red circles.
Yeah.
It's like a visual reminder of her commitment to cultivating virtue.
Absolutely.
It makes this ancient practice feel surprisingly relatable.
It does, doesn't it?
Okay, so the Gongoji is all about awareness and conscious action.
It is.
What other tools or practices does Liu Fam Tuhun offer for shaping our destiny?
Well, this one might surprise you. It delves into the connection between what we eat and our mental clarity.
Okay, now that's something I can definitely relate to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, food and mood, they're definitely connected for me.
Makes sense.
But what does this ancient text have to say about diet?
Well, it highlights the benefits of vegetarianism. It emphasizes that it's not just about physical health, but also about cultivating compassion and mental purity.
That makes a lot of sense, if we're talking about shaping our destiny through virtuous actions. Extending that compassion to all beings.
Exactly.
Including animals. Seems like a natural extension of that principle.
Absolutely. It's about aligning your actions with your values.
Yes, and it's interesting to note that Liu Fam himself experimented with vegetarianism as part of his journey.
He did.
Of self-cultivation.
Yeah.
And he documented the positive effects
He did, yeah.
it had on his mental and emotional state.
Interesting.
This really resonates with me.
Yeah.
I became vegetarian 50 years ago.
Wow.
And honestly, I felt incredibly healthy and energized ever since.
That's fantastic.
Of course, I can't promise that everyone will have the same experience.
Right.
But I do think there's something to be said for aligning your actions with your values.
Absolutely.
And for me, that includes extending compassion to all living beings.
It's a beautiful thing.
But I'm curious, what else does Liu Fam Tuhun have to say about the impact of our actions?
It's filled with stories that illustrate how even small acts of kindness and generosity can have this ripple effect, impacting not just our own lives, but the lives of others, even generations down the line.
Okay, now you got to share some of these stories.
All right.
I'm a sucker for a good anecdote.
Okay, so there's this one about a woman.
Okay.
During a devastating flood, she opened up her home to shelter people who were seeking refuge.
Oh, wow.
Simple act of kindness.
Right.
But it had a profound impact.
Okay.
Her descendants went on to achieve great wealth and success for generations.
That's incredible.
It is.
It's like a real-life example of good karma in action.
Absolutely.
It really highlights the idea that our actions have consequences that extend far beyond ourselves.
They do, yeah.
Wow.
And there's another story about a man who, despite not having a son, later had 3.
Okay.
After advocating for prisoners who had been wrongly accused, it's like the universe itself rewarded him for his selfless actions.
These stories are so captivating. They really bring the teachings of Liu Fam Tuhun to life.
They do, don't they?
But what's the deeper message here? What can we, as modern readers, glean from these ancient tales?
They highlight this key principle, cultivating genuine virtue.
Okay.
It's not about expecting a reward or trying to manipulate fate.
Okay.
It's about aligning ourselves with a higher purpose, with something bigger than ourselves.
So it's not about gaming the system.
No.
It's about acting from a place of genuine goodness and compassion.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off.
It does.
It reminds us that the most fulfilling actions are often the ones that come from a place of selfless service.
I agree. I like that a lot.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
Now, another aspect of the book that I find particularly thought-provoking is its exploration of what truly constitutes good and evil.
Okay, now we're getting philosophical. This is where things get really interesting.
Really buckle up.
What does Liu Fam Tuhun have to say about good and evil?
It challenges conventional notions by suggesting that true virtue lies in acting for the benefit of others, not just for ourselves.
There's that theme of selflessness again. I'm sensing a pattern here.
It's a recurring theme for sure.
But how does the book define good and evil specifically?
There's this fascinating dialogue
Okay.
between Zen master Xingfeng and his students,
Mm.
and he defines good as what benefits others,
Okay.
and evil as what benefits oneself.
That's a pretty radical definition.
It is, isn't it?
It kind of turns everything on its head.
Yeah.
So a seemingly good action done for selfish gain
Right.
could actually be considered evil.
That's the book's argument.
Wow.
It's not just about the outward appearance of our actions. It's about the underlying motivation
Okay.
and the ultimate impact they have on ourselves and others.
Mm.
True virtue, the book suggests,
Okay.
is about considering the long-term consequences
Right.
of our actions.
Right.
Mm.
And choosing to act in ways that benefit the collective good, not just our own narrow self-interest.
It's a challenging perspective, but it makes you think.
It does, yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in our own desires and motivations.
It is.
Liu Fam Tu Hen seems to be calling us to step back and consider the bigger picture,
Yes.
the interconnectedness of all things,
Absolutely.
and the impact our actions have on the world around us.
It's a profound shift in perspective.
It is.
And that brings us to another crucial aspect of the book's teachings,
Okay.
understanding the root causes of our actions.
Okay, this sounds like deep inner work.
It is. It's about going deeper.
How does Liu Fam Tu Hen guide us in this process of understanding our motivations?
The book emphasizes that simply suppressing negative actions without addressing the underlying thoughts and intentions. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a deep wound.
Right.
It won't truly heal.
Okay.
To transform our destiny, we need to get to the root of the problem. So it's not just about behavior modification. It's about understanding the why behind our actions.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But how do we actually go about uncovering these hidden motivations?
Liu Fam Tu Hen offers this powerful practice called Guanxin,
Guanxin. Okay.
which translates to observing the mind.
Okay, observing the mind. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
What exactly does that entail?
It's about cultivating a heightened awareness of our thoughts, paying attention to that constant stream of mental chatter
Right.
that's often running in the background of our minds.
Okay.
By observing our thoughts without judgment, we can start to identify the patterns and beliefs that are driving our actions, especially the ones we'd like to change.
So it's like mindfulness practice meets personal responsibility.
That's a great way to put it.
By becoming more aware of our thoughts,
Right.
we can start to see how they're shaping our reality and then make conscious choices to shift those thoughts in a more positive direction.
Absolutely. It's about taking control of our minds. And that brings us to another crucial point.
Okay.
The role of intention in shaping our destiny. Liu Fam Tu Hen stresses that it's not just our actions that matter, but the intention behind them.
So even a small act of kindness done with pure intention can have a ripple effect.
Precisely.
Wow.
The book encourages us to be mindful of our motives, to check in with ourselves and ask, why am I doing this? What is my true intention?
It's a powerful reminder to align our actions with our heart's true desires.
It is.
Not just for external validation or personal gain.
Right.
But let's be honest.
Yeah.
We don't always act from a place of pure intention. We're human. We make mistakes.
We do.
What does Liu Fam Tu Hen have to say about those times when we fall short?
The book emphasizes humility.
Okay.
Recognizing that we're all works in progress. It's not about being perfect.
Yeah.
It's about striving to align our actions with our values and learning from our mistakes.
That's a relief. I was starting to feel the pressure of having to be perfectly virtuous all the time.
Yeah, no one's perfect.
But seriously, I appreciate that the book acknowledges the reality of human imperfection.
It does, yeah.
We're all going to stumble and fall along the way.
Absolutely.
And the book encourages us to approach this journey of self-cultivation with a sense of patience and compassion, both for ourselves and for others.
So important.
It's not about beating ourselves up when we make mistakes. It's about learning from those experiences and continuing to strive toward our highest aspirations.
Beautifully said.
So it's about progress, not perfection.
Yes.
I like that.
It is, isn't it?
It feels more attainable, more realistic.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of intention, humility, and learning from our mistakes.
Right.
What other insights does Liu Fam Tu Hen offer for navigating the complexities of life and shaping our destiny?
It delves into the importance of accepting our circumstances, even the challenging ones.
Now that seems counterintuitive.
Oh.
Wouldn't that contradict the whole idea of actively shaping our destiny?
Good question.
If we just accept things as they are, aren't we surrendering our power to change things?
It's not about passive resignation.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that there are some things in life that are beyond our control, rather than resisting or dwelling in negativity. Liao Fam Tu Hun encourages us to accept these circumstances with grace and focus our energy on what we can influence, our own thoughts, actions, and responses.
So it's about choosing our battles wisely, recognizing that sometimes the most powerful action we can take is to surrender to what is and find peace within that surrender.
Beautifully said.
It reminds me of that serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yes, I love that prayer.
And from that place of acceptance, we can then make clear-headed decisions and move forward with greater purpose and resilience.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're cultivating self-awareness, we're harnessing the power of our emotions, we're understanding the root causes of our actions, and we're learning to accept what we can't change.
Right. It's a holistic approach.
What else does Liao Fam Tu Hun have to say about shaping our destiny?
It emphasizes the interconnectedness of all beings, reminding us that we are not isolated individuals, but rather threads in the grand tapestry of existence.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Our actions, thoughts, and intentions create ripples that extend far beyond ourselves, influencing the lives of others, and even shaping the course of history.
So it's like a butterfly effect on a cosmic scale.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that we have a responsibility not just to ourselves, but to the greater good.
Exactly.
Wow.
And this understanding naturally leads to the next key theme, the power of compassion.
Okay, I'm sensing another recurring theme here.
Yeah.
Selflessness, compassion, interconnectedness.
It's all connected.
It seems like Liao Fam Tu Hun is calling us to move beyond that individualistic, ego-driven mindset that's so prevalent in our culture.
It is.
And embrace a more expansive, interconnected worldview.
That's a great observation.
And the book argues that compassion isn't just some fuzzy, feel-good emotion.
No, it's much deeper than that.
It's a driving force for positive change.
It is.
It has the power to break down barriers of separation.
Yes.
To connect us to the shared humanity that unites us all.
That's a powerful force.
It's about moving beyond empathy, which is feeling for someone,
right,
to compassion, which is feeling with someone. And from that place of shared feeling, we can then act in ways that benefit not just ourselves, but all beings.
Beautifully said.
Okay, so we're cultivating compassion and recognizing our interconnectedness.
Yes.
What else does Liao Fam Tu Hun offer in terms of shaping our destiny?
The book emphasizes the importance of cultivating virtue.
Okay.
And it takes this concept a step further, suggesting that it's not just about being a good person, but about actively aligning ourselves with a higher moral order.
Okay, so it's not just about following a set of rules or trying to be nice.
No, it's deeper than that.
It's about developing a deeper inner compass.
Yes.
That guides us towards what's right, just, and beneficial for all.
Exactly.
And Liao Fam Tu Hun suggests that by aligning our actions with our highest values, we tap into a powerful force for positive change.
We do.
In our own lives and in the world around us.
That's a beautiful thing.
So it's like we're tapping into a universal sense of goodness that transcends individual preferences or cultural norms.
It does.
We're aligning ourselves with something bigger, something more profound.
Absolutely.
I like that. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But I'm curious, what exactly does Liao Fam Tu Hun have to say about Tian, which is often translated as heaven or destiny?
Okay.
Does this concept suggest that we're ultimately at the mercy of some higher power? Does it contradict the idea that we have free will and can shape our own future?
It's a great question.
It is. It's something I've always wondered about.
Yeah, and it's one that Liao Fam himself grappled with.
Okay.
The book delves into the metaphysical aspects of destiny.
Okay.
Suggesting that our lives aren't merely random occurrences. But are woven into a larger cosmic design. It suggests that there's a divine order to the universe, a kind of guiding intelligence that oversees the unfolding of events.
Okay, so there's this idea of a higher power, a cosmic order. But does that mean we're just puppets on a string, destined to play out a predetermined script?
That's where the book's perspective gets really interesting.
Okay.
It suggests that while there is a divine order, we are not simply passive recipients of fate. We have the power through our thoughts, actions, and cultivation of virtue to co-create our destiny.
So we're working in partnership with the universe.
Exactly.
We're not just at the mercy of fate, but we're also not in complete control.
Right.
It's like a delicate dance between surrender and agency.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
And the book suggests that by understanding this delicate balance,
Yes.
by aligning our actions with the principles of virtue and righteousness,
Right.
we can harmonize our lives with this cosmic order
Absolutely.
and create a more positive and fulfilling destiny
Yes.
for ourselves and future generations.
It's a beautiful vision.
It is.
It is.
So it's not about trying to manipulate fate or game the system. It's about living in accordance with our highest values and trusting that the universe will support us on our journey.
Beautifully said.
Okay, this is all starting to make sense, but there's one thing I'm still curious about.
Okay.
Liao talks a lot about self-cultivation.
It does.
But what does that actually look like in practice?
Right.
What are some specific techniques or practices the book recommends
Yeah.
for cultivating virtue, refining our character, and ultimately shaping our destiny?
That's a great question.
It is. It's like, how do we actually do this?
Right.
How
Right.
do we take these concepts and make them real in our lives?
Exactly. And it's one that Liu himself explored in depth.
Okay.
He experimented with a variety of practices and outlined a comprehensive framework for self-cultivation
Okay.
that encompasses our thoughts, our emotions,
Okay.
our actions, and relationships.
Okay.
One of the most fundamental practices he recommends
Okay.
is the Gongo-go, which we talked about earlier.
All right. The merit and demerit record.
Exactly.
It's a practice that really stuck with me.
Yeah,
It seems so simple, yet so powerful.
it is.
And it's a practice that anyone can implement in their daily life,
Absolutely.
regardless of their background or beliefs.
It's universal.
It's about cultivating a heightened awareness of our actions and their consequences,
Yeah,
which empowers us to make more conscious choices that align with our values.
exactly.
So it's like a daily check-in with ourselves
It is.
to see how we're doing on our journey of self-improvement.
Love that.
And Liao suggests that this consistent practice of self-reflection
Yes.
can lead to significant breakthroughs in personal growth and transformation.
It can. It really can.
Okay, so we've got the Gongoige as a foundation for self-cultivation.
Right.
What other practices does the book recommend?
Another key practice is the cultivation of mindfulness in our daily lives.
Mindfulness seems to be all the rage these days.
It is, isn't it?
But what does it actually mean in the context of Liu Tuhuan?
It's about bringing a heightened awareness
Okay.
to our present moment experience.
Hey.
Paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, sensations, and surroundings
Okay.
without judgment.
So it's about being fully present in each moment,
Yes,
rather than dwelling on the past or
Right.
worrying about the future.
exactly.
And the book argues that by cultivating mindfulness,
Yes,
we can develop a greater sense of self-awareness,
absolutely.
reduce stress and anxiety,
Yes,
and make more conscious choices that are aligned with our values.
that's a powerful practice.
It sounds like mindfulness can help us to break free from those autopilot patterns of thinking and behaving
He can.
that often lead us down paths we don't want to be on.
Absolutely.
And as we become more mindful,
Yes,
we also become more attuned to our intuition,
right.
that inner voice that often guides us towards our highest good.
It's a wise guide.
Okay, so mindfulness is about being present, aware, and connected to our intuition.
Yes.
What other practices does Liu Tuhuan recommend?
The book also places a strong emphasis on cultivating compassion,
Okay.
and it offers specific practices
Okay.
for putting this compassion into action.
That's what I love about this book. It's not just about abstract concepts.
No.
It's about practical application.
Exactly.
So what are some of these practices for cultivating compassion?
The book encourages us to engage in acts of service,
Oh.
to extend a helping hand to those in need, whether it's our family, friends, community, or even strangers.
So it's about moving beyond sympathy and actually doing something
Yes.
to alleviate suffering and make a positive difference in the world.
Exactly.
And it's not just about grand gestures.
No.
It's about those small, everyday acts of kindness
Right.
that can brighten someone's day
And absolutely.
and create a ripple effect of positivity.
It all adds up.
It's about recognizing that we are all interconnected
Yes.
and that even small acts of compassion can have a profound impact.
They can.
And the book argues that as we cultivate compassion through our actions, we naturally begin to experience more compassion in our thoughts and feelings as well.
Right.
Creating a virtuous cycle.
Yes.
That benefits both ourselves and others.
A beautiful thing.
Okay, so we're being mindful, we're practicing compassion, we're keeping that gong guo ge going.
Love it.
What else does Liao Pham Tu Hun recommend for shaping our destiny?
Well, it might surprise you,
Okay.
but the book actually emphasizes the importance of cultivating certain emotions. That might seem counterintuitive at first glance.
Okay.
Emotions like shame and fear.
No, that's not what I was expecting.
Oh,
We usually think of those emotions as negative,
right.
something to be avoided.
Yeah.
Why does Liao Pham Tu Hun emphasize these seemingly negative feelings?
Because, as we talked about earlier, when channeled correctly, they can become powerful catalysts for change.
Okay.
The key is to not get stuck in those emotions,
Right.
but to use them as a springboard
Okay.
for making different choices
Right.
and breaking free from negative patterns.
So it's about harnessing the energy of those emotions and redirecting them towards positive growth.
Exactly.
Okay.
For example, if we feel shame after making a mistake, we can use that feeling as motivation to make amends,
Right.
to learn from our error,
Okay.
and to choose differently in the future.
So it's about turning those seemingly negative emotions into fuel for transformation.
Exactly.
That's a really empowering perspective. It makes me realize that even our challenging emotions can serve a purpose
They can.
if we know how to work with them skillfully.
Absolutely.
And the book offers specific guidance on how to do just that,
It does.
how to transform those challenging emotions into catalysts for growth and change.
Powerful stuff.
Okay, I'm eager to hear more about these techniques. But first, I'm curious, what does Liao Pham Tu Hun have to say about forgiveness?
Okay.
If we're constantly reflecting on our actions and acknowledging our shortcomings,
Right.
it seems like it would be easy to get caught up in guilt and self-recrimination.
It's a good point.
How does the book address this?
The book emphasizes the importance of forgiveness,
Oh,
both of ourselves and of others.
okay.
It argues that holding on to anger, resentment, or guilt is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
That's a powerful analogy.
Isn't it?
It really highlights the destructive nature of unforgiveness.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And the book suggests that forgiveness is not about condoning hurtful actions,
Okay.
but about freeing ourselves from the burden of negative emotions so that we can move forward with greater peace and clarity.
So it's about recognizing that forgiveness is ultimately a gift we give to ourselves. It's about releasing the grip of the past and choosing to move forward with a lighter heart.
Yes.
Okay, so we're cultivating self-awareness, practicing compassion, embracing forgiveness, and learning to work with our emotions skillfully.
It's a journey.
What other insights does Liao Pham Tu Hun offer for navigating the complexities of life and shaping our destiny?
The book also emphasizes the importance of living in accordance with our highest values, suggesting that this alignment with virtue is essential for creating a fulfilling and meaningful life.
This seems to be a recurring theme throughout the book.
It is,
And it's one that really resonates with me.
Yeah.
But it can be challenging to know what our values truly are,
Right.
especially in a world that often sends us mixed messages.
It does.
How does Liao Pham Tu Hun guide us in this process of identifying and living in accordance with our values?
It encourages us to engage in regular self-reflection,
Okay.
to take the time to really understand our motivations, our aspirations, and what truly matters to us at our core.
Okay.
It also suggests that we can learn from the wisdom of the sages,
Okay.
from those who have walked the path of virtue before us.
So it's about taking the time to really get to know ourselves,
It is.
to understand what makes us tick,
Yeah.
what brings us joy, and what kind of impact we want to have on the world.
Absolutely.
And as we clarify our values,
Right.
it becomes easier to make choices that align with those values,
It does.
even when faced with difficult decisions.
It does, yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to get a sense of the holistic approach that Liao Pham Tu Hun offers.
Yeah.
It's not just about changing our behavior.
Right.
It's about transforming our entire being,
Yeah.
our thoughts, emotions, actions, and relationships,
It's a complete transformation.
so that we can live a life of greater purpose, meaning, and fulfillment.
Beautifully said.
It's a journey, not a destination.
It is.
We're constantly learning, evolving, and becoming more aligned with our highest aspirations.
Oh, it's-
This has been a fascinating exploration so far.
It has, hasn't it?
I'm feeling so inspired by the wisdom of Liao Pham Tu Hun.
Me too.
But I have to ask, what about those times when we feel like we're stuck in a rut?
Okay.
What if we've been trying to make changes in our lives,
Yeah.
but we're not seeing the results we're hoping for?
It happens.
Well-
What does the book have to say about perseverance and overcoming challenges on the path of self-cultivation?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It acknowledges that the path is not always easy.
Right.
There will be challenges, setbacks, moments of doubt.
So it's not a quick fix.
No.
Or a magic formula.
No, it's a process.
Right.
It requires effort, commitment,
Okay.
a willingness to keep going even when we feel discouraged.
So it's not for the faint of heart.
It's not. It's a real commitment.
But how do we stay motivated when we're faced with those obstacles and setbacks?
Right.
How do we keep from giving up on ourselves and our dreams?
The book offers a number of practices for cultivating inner strength and resilience.
Okay, like what?
One is mindfulness, which we discussed earlier.
Uh,
By becoming more aware of our thoughts and feelings,
right.
we can learn to manage our emotional responses to challenges more effectively.
So instead of getting swept away by negativity or self-doubt, we can observe those thoughts and feelings with a sense of detachment,
Exactly.
recognizing that they are temporary and don't define us.
Absolutely.
And by cultivating this inner awareness, we can also start to identify the limiting beliefs that might be holding us back
Yes.
and replace them with more empowering ones.
It's like we become the CEO of our own minds.
I like that, yeah.
Right.
Recognizing the thoughts that are not serving us and choosing to focus on thoughts that uplift and inspire us.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And the book offers specific techniques for doing just that, for transforming our inner dialogue from one of self-criticism and doubt
Right.
to one of self-compassion and empowerment.
Okay. I'm feeling more hopeful already.
Good, good.
But I'm curious,
Yeah.
what does Liao Pham Tu Huan have to say about the role of belief in shaping our destiny?
Good question.
If we're constantly bombarded with messages that tell us we're not good enough
Right.
or smart enough or worthy enough,
Yeah, it's tough out there.
how can we cultivate the kind of beliefs that will support us on our journey of self-transformation?
That's a really important question.
It is.
And it's one that Liu Fem himself grappled with.
Okay.
The book argues that our beliefs have a profound impact on our reality, shaping our perceptions, interpretations, and ultimately our choices and actions.
So it's not just about positive thinking.
No.
It's about recognizing that our beliefs are not just passive reflections of reality,
Right.
but active forces that shape our experiences.
They really are.
And the book suggests that by consciously choosing to cultivate beliefs that empower us and support our growth,
Yes.
we can create a more positive and fulfilling life.
It's true, isn't it?
But how do we actually go about changing our beliefs?
Yeah.
It's not always easy to simply flip a switch
No.
and start thinking positive thoughts,
It takes effort.
especially if we've been conditioned to believe certain things about ourselves for a long time.
Yeah, those old patterns can be tough to break.
So what do we do?
The book offers a number of techniques for transforming our beliefs.
Okay, like what?
One is mindfulness, which, as we've discussed, helps us to become more aware of our thoughts and to detach from negative or limiting beliefs.
Okay.
Another technique is affirmations,
Okay.
which involves consciously repeating positive statements
Right.
that align with the beliefs we want to cultivate.
So it's about consciously choosing to focus our minds on thoughts that empower us
Yes.
and support our growth,
Absolutely.
rather than dwelling on thoughts that limit us or hold us back.
Exactly.
And the book emphasizes that consistency is key.
It is.
Just like any skill,
Sure.
transforming our beliefs takes practice and repetition.
It does. It's a process.
So it's about creating new neural pathways,
Right.
new habits of thinking
Mm-hmm.
that will ultimately lead to a more positive and empowering experience of life.
Beautifully said.
And the more we practice these techniques,
Yes.
the more natural and effortless it becomes to think and believe in ways that support our highest aspirations.
It really does. It's amazing how our minds work.
I love that this book gives us so many practical tools and techniques
Me too.
for shaping our destiny.
It's empowering, isn't it?
It is. But I have to ask,
Yeah.
what does Liu Pham Tu Huan have to say about those times when we feel like giving up?
We all have those moments.
What if we've been trying to make changes in our lives, but we're not seeing the results we're hoping for?
Right.
What if we start to doubt ourselves and our ability to create the kind of life we envision?
It's natural to feel that way sometimes.
So what do we do?
The book offers a profound message of hope,
Okay.
reminding us that we are not victims of fate, but active participants in the creation of our reality. It encourages us to cultivate a deep trust in the process of self-cultivation,
Okay.
to recognize that even small intentional acts
Right.
can have a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves.
So it's about recognizing that we are not alone on this journey,
We're not.
that there's a larger force at play,
There is.
a cosmic intelligence that is supporting us every step of the way.
Exactly.
And the book suggests that by aligning our actions with our highest values,
Yes.
by cultivating virtue and compassion,
Right.
we tap into this cosmic intelligence and create a more positive and fulfilling destiny
We do.
for ourselves and future generations.
It's a beautiful vision.
It's a beautiful and empowering message.
It is.
But I have to admit, I'm still a bit skeptical.
Oh.
How can we be sure that our efforts are actually making a difference? How can we know if we're on the right track?
That's a great question, and it's one that Lu Femme himself asked.
Hmm.
The book suggests that we can measure our progress,
Okay.
not so much by external achievements, but rather by the inner transformation we experience as we cultivate virtue, wisdom, and compassion.
Right.
We naturally begin to experience greater inner peace,
Okay.
joy, and a sense of connection to something larger than ourselves.
So it's about paying attention to our internal state of being.
Yes.
Rather than focusing solely on external markers of success.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
The book argues that true fulfillment comes from aligning our lives with our highest values
Right.
and experiencing a deep sense of inner harmony.
It's about finding that peace within.
It is, yeah.
And it offers specific practices for cultivating this inner peace, joy, and connection, from meditation and mindfulness to acts of service and gratitude.
Yeah, it's a holistic approach.
Okay, so much to learn from this book.
There is, isn't there?
So much wisdom packed into these pages.
Centuries old, but still so relevant today.
It really is.
It's incredible.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and insights with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been a true pleasure exploring Liao Femme Tu Han with you.
Likewise.
And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity
Yeah.
and inspired you to embark on your own journey of self-discovery and destiny transformation.
It's a journey worth taking.
It is.
It is.
Remember, the power to create a life of meaning,
Yes.
purpose,
Absolutely.
and fulfillment lies within you.
It does.
Until next time, keep exploring.